And you know what? Not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear galaxy print. Hi, divas. I am incredibly happy to say that the slump is over. If you've been around, I've been on a bit of a slump for literally months. I have a lot of books that I have to read, and that makes me not want to read them. And I've been reading a lot of books that I've enjoyed, but none that have had me giddy. So I knew it was time to call in the big guns, and that is Miss Allie Hazelwood. Within the last 24 hours, I have started and finished Mate by Allie Hazelwood, and I feel restored. There's something very special to me about Allie Hazelwood's writing. She just gets me. Something about the dynamics, the dialogue, it really scratches the itch. I'm just giggling, kicking my feet, it just hits all the right notes. I don't know why it took me so long to grab one of her books. I knew she was gonna be the one to save me. Mate is the sequel or companion novel to Bride. I read Bride with my friends for Monsterfucker Book Club and devoured it. It's definitely a different kind of take to Omegaverse, but let me tell you something. There might be different terminology. There might be different dynamics sometimes. But when I read these books, game recognizes game. I know that this is a woman of culture. I know she's been in the AO3 trenches. I know she's read the sacred texts. This woman knows what she's doing. I don't think there's any mention of omegas in these books, but the dynamic is there. In Mate, we have Serena, who we meet in the first book. She is a newly discovered hybrid, which is one of its kind. So she is half human, half werewolf. She doesn't know her parents. She was abandoned as a child, and she grew up with Misery, who we meet in the first book, and she's our main character then. And they're best friends since childhood. Misery is raised to basically be a political pawn, and Serena kind of is her little sidekick. She doesn't really get to have an identity of her own. And in this book, we see her kind of trying to detangle threads of her past, especially with a newfound mate who just so happens to be Misery's husband's mentor person. Cohen is the alpha of a neighboring territory, and he has all the goods. He is grumpy. He is so dedicated to his role as alpha. He wants to protect his pack. He always wants to put his pack first. And it just so happens that this pack has a celibacy covenant. What this means is that the alpha cannot engage in any romantic relationships. The whole idea is that if the alpha is in love, has a family, then they won't put the pack first. They'll just be swayed by their relationships and their loved ones. They'll put their wife or their kids first ahead of the pack. Low key, I see their point, but they take it way too far. It doesn't matter anyways, because Cohen, he's dedicated. He became alpha after a period of a lot of unrest, and he feels like he's the only one that can get his pack through what's coming. His pack feels the exact same. And when they meet Serena, they're like, girlie, listen, we know it's not your fault, but back off our man. We need him to survive. It doesn't help that because she's the only hybrid that these people know about, she becomes a target real quick. There's people out for her. They want to capture her, take her back to big money politicians who have put a bounty on her head. So what better place for her to be safe from these people that with the alpha? Listen. This book was so delicious. It had all the Allie Hazelwood goodness. It was funny. I did find that sometimes we bordered on a little too jokey. I didn't need a joke every 3 sentences. I feel like her humor is so good. I didn't need it on overdose, especially with him as a character because he was kind of grumpy, but he matched her banter. Sometimes the type of joke he would make, I was like, that didn't suit his humor to me. That was a little odd for me. But overall, I ate this up. Like I said, this is a woman that knows her background, knows her roots. So, we had those heat moments, we had possessive moments. It was so good. Serena is such a strong character, and she's very opinionated. She's strong-minded. As much as she's also insecure about the fact that she doesn't know her past, she doesn't know where she came from, and she doesn't know who she is. It doesn't help that she also gets given a diagnosis that she's not sure how to deal with. I wish we got more Lo, because I feel like he's so funny in a very deadpan way. But I love Serena and Misery's friendship. I love little Anna, who I feel like acts younger than a 7-year-old, although I don't know that many kids, but I feel like some of the things she would say, I'm like, she sounds like a 5-year-old. I devoured this book, but now I'm at the crossroads where, what do I read next? This book got me to the apex, to the highest point of the hill. If the next one I read is not good, the car's gonna fall down the hill. Like, we're gonna go backwards. So I need the next one to be a banger so it gets me fully over the hill. Like, this reading slump is a manual car. I can do hills. I can be here. I need to be over the slump. That means now that all the flavors have melted on my tongue, I want more Omegaverse, which is not good because I'm trying to read through my physical TBR and I don't have any Omegaverse physical TBR books. So now I have to decide, do I follow my gut that needs more Omegaverse? And also, which ones do I read? Because I feel like they are so hit or miss. I love Omegaverse as a trope, and I've read some incredible books, and I've also read some of the worst books that have been written. It's so easy to veer into cringe with Omegaverse, so like it has to be done really well. That said, if you have recommendations, I expect them below. I need to decide what to do. If I do that, or I definitely need a romance. Like, there's no alternative. It needs to be a romance. That's my tried and true. That's my only genre that will get me out of this slump successfully. I need a banger. I could go with another Ali Hazelwood, honestly, because I trust her. She is mother. I will let you know when I decide what I want to read. In the meantime, I did want to show you my dinner. I've been eating the salad literally every day this week. It's cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers. And I always add this pomegranate balsamic that I bought recently. But today I decided to add hummus as well as like part of the dressing. And it's delicious. I also made some gyozas, and I have my little sauce, and I have my little drink. So I'm having a great night. It is Sunday. Tomorrow is back to real life. Heartbroken, but I will keep you posted. If I manage to pick something to read today, I'll let you know. If not, I'll let you know tomorrow. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you have recommendations. I need either delicious Omegaverse or delicious romance, just period. Please deliver. It is now Wednesday. On Monday, I decided to pick up Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey, and it has turned out to be one of the worst times to read a book with a hockey player MMC. Not the worst time, because hockey players stay being fucking villainous and hateful towards women. But right now, I can't help but blame this guy for like everything I see on my feed. It's not even his fault, but I can't help but associate it immediately. If you haven't seen this, the USA hockey team that won at the Olympics are like besties with Trump. So that's like super fun and cool. And honestly, saying villainous feels like I'm giving them way too much credit, because I was listening to some of them speak and I was like, are we brain dead? Like, are there any brain cells that are connecting? Like, what's going on? I'm feeling like they get hit in the head too much. And that was making me question every hockey romance I've ever read, because I'm like, that's not attractive. Like, why do they talk like they have a potato in their brain? Like, I'm so confused. And I don't know anything about hockey, but I did recognize some of the players, and I was like, I'm pretty sure these, like, some people thought these were like the woke ones. So I'm like, wow, this is the best we can offer. Great. Anyways, to be honest though, I don't even think that's the only reason I'm not super loving this. I started reading Tessa Bailey a while ago, and the first couple books I read by her, I was obsessed. I think the issue is that I've read some of her best books right off the bat, so now everything else I've read, it doesn't hit the same mark. I read Follow by her. That was the first book I read of hers, and it was incredible. Her Hot and Hammered series, the first one was fine, but the second and third, Lover or Loser and Tools of Engagement, iconic books. I love those books so much. Lover or Loser really got me started on my relationship in crisis love, so I will always love her and support her for that. I've read Secretly Yours and Unfortunately Yours. The first one was fine. The second one, I really enjoyed, actually. It Happened One Summer, I loved. Hook, Line, and Sinker, not so much. And then now I'm on this series. The first one I thought was so fun. That's the golf one. Then I read the second one, which is another hockey one. Didn't really do it for me. And now this one, I was so excited to read this one because it really sounds like It Happened One Summer, which was one of my favorites of hers. It gives that like high maintenance, preppy fancy girl and the blue collar man that like, I am the man to do your maintenance, you know, like it's just so good. It's such a good trope. I love it. But this one is really like not doing it for me. It really is giving like Timu, Piper, and Brennan. Like, I do like the FMC. She's fun. She is delivering on like the slightly out of touch, rich girl energy. And the MMC, I feel like I don't know anything about him. I'm not connecting with him. I should mention, their parents are about to get married, so they're gonna be step siblings, I guess, as adults. And their relationship keeps going back and forth with like, she makes a move and he's like, no, we're gonna be step siblings. We can't. So she's like, okay, that's fine. Let's date people. And he's like, no, what about us? Bruh. And I'm like, but you just said, like, it just keeps going back and forth with that. I'm like, where are we going with this? Like, what's the end goal? Like, is anyone trying to fix this? Like, what are we doing? Are we just gonna stay in limbo? Like, is no one allowed to date anyone and they're not allowed to date each other? Like, are we all supposed to be alone forever? So not loving that. And then like, I do love the idea of the MMC being like, girl, like I'll pay for all of your things. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'll do the thing. I don't know. I feel like the way it's being built, it's like making him sound so pathetic that I'm just like, okay, this is not hot anymore. Like I just feel bad and awkward and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. So I don't know. It is a Tessa Bailey though. So like I am looking forward to the spice. Like I feel like she tends to deliver in that. So that at least will be fun. We are like halfway through and nothing has happened though. So like, let's get it moving. Tessa Bailey is kind of divisive and that people either love her or hate her writing, that is. And I feel like I always used to get so annoyed when people didn't like her writing because I was like, how could you not? Like it's so fun. Like people are just haters. And now I'm like, she really is hit or miss with me. Sometimes I read a book of hers and I'm like, yeah. And then sometimes I read another book of hers and I'm like, who? In a weird way, I kind of feel like she was really, really good at first. And then the more famous she got, maybe she's writing too many books. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's losing a bit of spark for me. Really upsetting. I will always hold those books of hers that I read and loved like so near and dear to my heart. I always really associate them with like my journey back into like reading a lot after my master's. So I'll always have a special place in my heart for Tessa Bailey. But right now she's kind of hurting my feelings. The good thing is though, even though I'm not like loving it, I am getting through it quite quickly. So at least I don't feel myself sliding back into the slump. So like we are still kind of like trying to get through the hump. I will report back when I get further into this. I did also want to mention, if you remember in one of my first videos, I was talking about how I was really scared that making YouTube videos was gonna really make me self-conscious because I was so used to TikTok and like TikTok filters and like how I look with filters that change your face just slightly, but then when you remove the filter, you're like, who the fuck is that? Like it just makes you kind of lose like consciousness of like what you actually look like. But since I started filming YouTube videos, I would say like 80% of my clips are me without makeup. Like right now I have nothing on my face and it feels fine. Like I'm just like, yeah, that's what I look like. It's actually been like a weird healing journey that I did not anticipate. I thought it was actually gonna work backwards. So I'm like really happy with that. That is just to say, like, if you are a girly like me and you're kind of scared of the idea of filming all this content and like being scared of what you look like and like not wanting to film if you don't have makeup on, try it. Because honestly, it was the best decision I ever made because now I feel like, I don't know, I just don't overthink it anymore and it's so fun. Anyways, yeah, I'll check back in when I get further into this. I'm hoping when we get to the thick of it that it hits. I'll let you know. Also, another update for lazy girls that are trying to like eat a bit more healthy. I just made a salad with mushrooms, cherry tomatoes, use my veggie chopper, of course, with kale as the base. I know, stay with me. I know I said kale, but stay with me. Then I put a cranberry pear vinegar in it, and also my tried and true, my love, my beloved, my pomegranate balsamic glaze. Yesterday my mom made a kale salad that was so delicious, and I've been trying to think of ways to use my kale because I bought a big humongous bag, and this salad was the way. Also, put it in a container and shake it around. Easiest way. Last time we talked books, I was just getting into this. I wasn't really enjoying it and I was hoping it would pick up. It didn't. I am heartbroken about this. From this series of hers, I think I really only enjoyed the first one. I had such a good time with that book. It was so funny. The spice was great. The second one, I was not moved by at all. And then this one, it sucks because it had all the components to be a book I would totally devour. Going into it, I was expecting kind of a Piper and Brendan dynamic from It Happened One Summer, which I love, but this was kind of like the Timu iteration of that. I like the setup, you know, spoiled rich FMC and MMC that came from like being poor, but like is now a hockey player, so like is not. They meet by chance at a golf club, insta lust moment, and then later that night they realize they're about to become step siblings because their parents are getting married. So far, I was sad. I was so hooked. And then it kind of floundered there. Our FMC decides she wants to move to Boston with him to like try out independence, which like could have been, again, the setup for something so fun. But it really wasn't. It kind of was boring. I wanted her position of privilege to be more of an issue. Like I wanted it to come up more, and it did in a way that was not satisfying to me. He pays for all of her bills, which immediately does not make it her being independent, which is supposedly the goal of her moving to Boston. But she's doing the program in this university that she wanted to do. So I guess that's the independence that we're supposed to believe is like life-changing to her. And he's like a rich hockey player, and he rents her out this like super fancy apartment when like his apparently isn't. And because I guess he has like trauma of like being poor again, he like starts selling hockey memorabilia to like make sure he can afford her lifestyle, and like in case his team doesn't renew his contract. And like kind of spoiler, but like I mean it's a romance, like you know where the conflict is going. When she finds out, she's like, wait, like you're like struggling to pay my stuff? Wow, like it's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre interaction between them always. And I feel like way too many people give a shit about what their relationship is to each other. Chloe, who is her FMC, is a harpist. That's what the program that she goes into for. And she gets assigned to this like really fancy like mentor, and she's gonna help her really better her craft and like become this very accomplished musician. And when the mentor finds out that she's like in love with her future stepbrother, she's like, oh, I cannot be associated with this drama. I need to drop you. I'm like, that felt like so like what? Like why would you give a shit? And with him, when the new like team director whatever finds out that he's in love with his future stepsister, she's like, oh, we can't have that. We can't have that. It's bad for our image. And my first thought was, the NHL hires rapists. Like if a criminal record is not bad enough for you not to get hired, is who you're in love with, like that feels really bizarre to me. Like why would they care? And the resolution, girl, that was so goofy. Like what? I don't know. I was thoroughly unimpressed with this. Got a 2-star, and I think I might have been too generous, honestly. And the spies didn't even like make up for it. Right after that, I knew I had to stay away from hockey because especially with everything that's happening right now, I really fucking hate hockey players, so I could not be involved in that. So I went the opposite but also very similar way with Cowboys. And I say opposite because they're not athletes, but similar in that they're usually also conservative. I ended up picking up Lila Sage's series, starting up with Done and Dusted. Another one that I was expecting more. I feel like these covers immediately made me expect like all 5 stars across the board. I was goofed. This was here's the thing, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had fun. Like by no means is it a bad book. It just very much read like a debut. Some of the writing was kind of awkward, and the spice, I feel like the ideas for the spice were like really good, but sometimes the dialogue felt very like a little bit out of character, and like for a TikTok, like a spicy quote TikTok, you know what I mean? Like based on their dynamic, I was kind of sometimes like taken aback by the way he would talk to her, and I was like, would he, like, I don't know, like it didn't feel in character for him. Not bad by any means, but just kind of underwhelming. I don't know. I wasn't wowed by this, but because I know, I'm pretty sure it is a debut. So like, listen, she wrote a book and I didn't. So like, props to her. Really sweet, fun. Definitely would read more of her. I then realized I don't own the second book, but I do own the third one. And this was the story that I was most excited about because it's Teddy and Gus, which is like, it was giving me very much Heartless by Elsie Silver. She's a fiery redhead, and he's like this grumpy single dad. You get the vision. That's like my favorite trope. I love that. And this was good. It was fun. I think I enjoyed it better than Done and Dusted, but still there was something missing. I don't know what it is. I think my biggest issue with these books so far is that the switch up from enemy or like dislike to lovers and like being obsessed with each other is really quick, and it feels kind of sudden, especially when like the whole setup is the fact that they don't like each other. Like these two haven't liked each other apparently since like they were children. Like it's supposed to be this like slow burn, like they really don't like each other. Like he thinks she's such a bad influence for his little sister, and she thinks he's like grumpy and kind of arrogant and annoying. But then like they kind of immediately switch up, and I was like, I wanted more banter. Like I wanted them to fight more. Also, this is entirely a personal taste thing. I hated his nickname for her. It made me cringe every time I read it. And again, that's totally a personal thing because I like pet names that a lot of people hate, so like valid. But he keeps calling her Teddy Baby. I think the issue with that nickname for me is that it comes from him. It came from him way too quick. You know, like I feel like that's a nickname that's kind of tender, and like it doesn't belong in like after the first time they have sex, you know, like, and he's supposed to be this like grumpy kind of like guarded character, and he like immediately is calling her all these like sweet names, and I was like there was no payoff because we didn't have to work for it. You know what I mean? Like it was just, okay, here, they love each other now. And I was like, okay, wait, but what about their issues? Like, I want more of that. Overall, it was hot. It was fun. I just needed like a tiny bit more. I'm not super sure I want to read the next one right away. Like I do own it. I think that's Wild and Wrangled. The Goodreads reviews for this series are actually not what I expected. For some reason, in my consciousness, everyone loved this series and it was like super highly acclaimed. But then now that I look at the reviews, everyone kind of has similar issues to me, where like the insta love is like a really big issue, and it sounds like it doesn't get better with the next book, and it's not particularly a dynamic I'm super interested in. And apparently, well, I mean, I like Cam, who's like the FMC in the next book. I like her a lot in these books. Her and Gus have like a really healthy co-parenting relationship, but apparently from the reviews, it sounds like they turn her into like a nightmare of a person in the next book, and like her book. She's super annoying and like kind of mean and rude to Rusty, whoever the MMC is. Like, I don't want to hate her because I really like her and she's a woman, so I want to support her. So I don't know. If you read Wild and Wrangled, let me know if you think I'll enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but in the meantime, I wanted to tell you, yesterday we went to an Emily Austen signing. I already have most of her books already. I was working the Moose Jaw Festival of Words when she was there. I was doing their social media, so I got to interview her and like get her to sign all of my books that I got from her. But I recently got the arc for Is This a Cry for Help? So I wanted her to sign this one. This is the one I think she was there to talk about the most yesterday. But there was one that at the festival was sold out, so I didn't get to get it. So I got it this time, and it's Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. Kind of special that I got her first book and her latest. She is so, I'm kind of obsessed with her. She is so funny and like so chill in like a cool way. I think when they introduced her, they called her like the patron saint for sad girls with a lot of feelings. And I'm like, so I got her to sign this one. This is about a librarian coming back to work after she had like a breakdown. And it talks a lot about, well, public libraries as a whole. Emily Austen is a librarian. And it also talks about book banning and like all this kind of stuff, all these social issues that are very prevalent right now, especially in relation to public libraries. And she wrote, "For Sophia, go libraries, icon." And then this one, I didn't know what it was about, but when she was talking about it, she said it's an atheist lesbian randomly ends up getting a job at a Catholic church. And I was like, I'm sad. I think she writes exclusively lesbian main characters because she's a lesbian herself. And that's iconic. And I love that she acknowledged that she's very lucky to be able to publish those kinds of books with lesbian characters, which is like obviously hugely underrepresented in the publishing industry. So I'm so excited for this one. And here, I think she was saying that she wrote this when she was thinking a lot about grief and death. So she wrote, "For Sophia, go death and lesbians." She is such an icon. I think we might be reading this for our Fucked Up Lady book club. And I really want to read this one. This one's surprisingly short, so I think it might be coming up soon for me. Today, I am going to brunch with my friend because one of the like household name restaurants in our neighborhood that's been around for like so many years is shutting down. Another fucking awful consequence of COVID. So we're gonna go there for like one last hurrah. And then after that, we're going over to our other friend's house and we're gonna do a Studio Ghibli movie marathon. If you remember, a couple of vlogs ago, I went to a Studio Ghibli orchestra concert thing. And there was two of the movies that I hadn't seen. And that was Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro. Definitely watching Kiki's Delivery Service, and there was another one that they said we were gonna watch that I didn't recognize the name of. I will report back after I watch it, but I'm so excited! I don't think Studio Ghibli movies are movies I would watch by myself, so I'm glad to be watching it with my friends. It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna get some snacks, and we're just gonna have so much fun. I'll probably do like a little goodbye clip at the end of the day when I get back home, and then hopefully by then I have picked my next read. I need a banger. Remember when I said I needed a banger? I haven't gotten the banger. I'm still looking for the banger. Well, it is Wednesday. I just got home from work. It is
fucking freezing outside. I need to close out this vlog. In summary, Kiki's Delivery Service was so fun. I really loved that one. The second movie, I cannot remember the name. If I remember it, it's gonna be right here. I left halfway through, but I don't blame it on the movie at all. I think I was just movied out and I was so tired. Like, I was a second away from falling asleep right there, and the visuals of the movie were really beautiful, so I kind of want to give it a fair shot. So we'll return to that eventually. I did end up starting a dark romance. Did They Break You, I think it's called. It is so insane. I don't really know how to talk about it. I probably won't talk about it, but it's taking me out of my reading slump again. So like, we're on the right path. So I'm reading that. I'll probably be finishing it tonight or tomorrow, but I'm gonna close it off here. Your homework: romance recs, Omegaverse recs, maybe some dark romance recs, and even the Pit fanfic recs. Yes, we're back on that. Thank you for hanging out with me. Sophie, thank you for being the one that's always texting me asking for a new video. You're the reason I literally finish these videos and edit them. So shout out you, girl. #1 fan. Okay, bye.